अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. To celebrate Bhagavan's 72nd Aradhana, the devotees from Nova Scotia Arunachala Ashrama, Ogdensburg Ramanachalam and the Ottawa Satsang group are very pleased to make the following offerings. Selected slokas from Ribu Geetai rendered by Dr. Anil Sharma and Vidya Sharma. This will be followed by readings on Spiritual Heart from Ramana Gita and Gems by Evelyn Saphir and Darlene Karamanos. Bhajans will be rendered by Aparna Ramnath, Madhu Padmanabhan and Ramya Krishnan, and flute recitation by Kashvi Dilip. We will conclude with chanting of Pasuram, Ekasloki and Mohamudgaram by Ananta Padmanabhan. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Let us imagine ourselves sitting in front of Sri Bhagavan, either in Virupaksha cave or in Skandashramam, while we chant a soul-stirring text that describes Sri Bhagavan's state of abidance in the one reality. The sacred text referred to is none other than the Ribu Gita, whose study Sri Bhagavan recommended to some devotees as a valuable aid in their spiritual growth. Here we offer some representative verses from chapter 26 of Ribu Gita. Vegovidamai tondrayidum bhedam ellam vicharekkilloru kalam illave illai akilamume aanmavuka bhinnamana akanda parabrahmam endrum adunan endrum tagamemigum tidamana nichayattai tappamalleppodum abhyasittai Sakalumumei handu para brahmatondrai santatamum tanmayamai sakittarupai.
When inquired into deeply, all the multitude of differences will be seen to be never existent. All is the undivided Supreme Brahman, which is not different from the Self, and that am I. By always correctly practicing in this exalted certitude and relinquishing all else, be in the bliss of being ever that itself.
Vidam vidamai vilangiyavattu vidam ellam vicharakkil yadanadayalilada dagum tidumarova karya karanangal ellam Tilamallavum yedanadayalilada Yadanadanil manadu kalantirukkam kale Ittuvida bhayamanuvamilada dagum Adanmayamai dvittabayam manuvum indri Asanchalamai anavaradam sukittarupai.
That in which all these apparent differences of duality cease to exist when inquired into, in which all cause and effect, even a trace thereof, cease to exist, and in which not a trace of this sphere of duality exists when the mind is merged therein, being that itself, ever abide in unwavering bliss.
Yadanidayil sankalpam vikalpam illai Yadanidayil shantiyilai dantiyillai Yadanidayil manadumilai madiyum illai Yadanidayil mayalumilai tunivum illai Yadanidayil bhavamilai abhavam illai Yadanidayil ittuvida arivai illai Adanmayamai dvittabayam manuvumindri Asanchalamaya navaradan sukittarupai.
that in which there is neither a sankalpa nor a vikalpa, in which there is neither peace nor perturbance, in which there is neither mind nor intellect, in which there is no confusion or conviction, in which there is no bhava or absence of bhava, in which there is no cognition of duality at all, being as that itself, without the least fear of duality, ever abide in unwavering bliss.
Yadanidaye todamile gunamum illai, Yadanidaye dukka sukam evayum illai, Yadanidayil maunamilai vakum illai, Yadanidayil dvantavame tondram illai, Yadanidayil deyam aham enale illai, Yadanidayil dirusiyamor anuvum illai, Adanidayil sankalpam anuvumindri, Ammayamayana varadan sukkita rupai.
That in which there is nothing bad or good, in which there is neither sorrow nor pleasure, in which there is neither silence nor speech, in which there are no pairs of opposites, in which there is no distinction of I or body, and in which there is not the least thing to perceive, ever abide in bliss, without a trace of a concept, in that itself as that itself.
Yadanidayil kayakamanchayalum illai, Yadanidayil vachikamanchayalum illai, Yadanidayil manadamanchayalum illai, Yadanidayil matrumoruchayalum illai, Yadanidayil bhavamaram yavayum illai, Yadanidayil patrupalan anuvam illai, Adanidayil sankalpam anuvumindri, Ammayamayana varadan sukkita rupai.
That in which there is no activity of body, in which there is no activity of speech, in which there is no activity of the mind, in which there is no activity of any other kind, in which there is nothing sinful or meritorious, and in which there is no trace of desire or its consequences, ever abide in bliss, without a trace of a concept, in that itself as that itself.
Yadanidayil kalpanaye endrum illai, Yadanidayil kalpippontanam illai, Yadanidayil pirapancham udikavillai, Yadanidayil pirapancham irukavillai, Yadanidayil pirapancham odungavillai, Yadanidayil evayum urukalum illai, Adanidayil sankalpam anuvumindri, Ammayamayana varadan sukkita rupai.
That in which there is never any imagination, in which there is no one who imagines, in which the universe has not arisen, in which the universe does not exist, in which the universe does not get dissolved, and in which nothing exists at any time, ever abide in bliss, without a trace of a concept, in that itself as that itself.
Yadanadayil mayayudai totram illai, Yadanadayil mayashayum sayalum illai, Yadanadayil vittayilai avittai illai, Yadanadayil ishanilai jivar illai, Yadanadayil sattumilaya sattum illai, Yadanidayil jagatotram irayum illai, Adanidayil sankalpam anuvamindri, Ammayamayana varadum sukkita rupai.
That in which there is no appearance of Maya, in which there are no effects of Maya, in which there is neither knowledge nor ignorance, in which there is neither Lord Ishvara nor individual Jiva, in which there is neither reality nor unreality, and in which there is not the least appearance of the world, ever abide in bliss, without a trace of a concept, in that itself as that itself.
This is Chapter 5 from Sri Ramana Gita, The Science of the Heart. In the aforesaid year, on the night of the 9th of August, Ramana Muni spoke exhaustively regarding the heart. That from which all thoughts of embodied beings issue forth is called the heart. All description of it are only mental concepts. The I thought is said to be the root of all thoughts. In brief, that from which the I thought springs forth is the heart. If the heart be located in Anahat chakra, how does the practice of yoga begin in Muladhara? Bhagavan replied, "This heart is different from the blood circulating organ. Hridayam stands for Hrit, the center, which sucks in everything, and Ayam, this, and it thus stands for the self. The location of this heart is on the right side of the chest, not at all on the left. The light of awareness flows from the heart through Sushumna to Sahasrara. From there it flows to the entire body, and then all experiences of the world arise. Viewing them as different from the light, one gets caught up in samsara. The Sahasrara of one who abides in the self is nothing but pure light. Any thought that approaches it cannot survive. Even when an object, owing to its nearness, is sensed by the mind, it is no hindrance to yoga, as the mind perceives no difference. The state in which awareness is firm and one-pointed, even when objects are sensed, is called Sahaj Sthiti. The state in which objects are absent is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The whole universe is in the body, and the whole body is in the heart. Hence all the universe is contained in the heart. The universe is nothing but the mind, and the mind is nothing but the heart. Thus, the entire story of the universe culminates in the heart. The heart is to the body what the sun is to the world. The mind in Sahasrara is like the orb of the moon in the world. As the sun gives light to the moon, even so, this heart gives light to the mind. A mortal absent from the heart perceives only the mind, just as the light of the moon is perceived at night in the absence of the sun. Not perceiving that the true source of light is one's own self, and mentally perceiving objects as apart from oneself, the ignorant one is deluded. The jnani present in the heart sees the light of the mind merged in the light of the heart, like moonlight in daylight. The wise know that the superficial meaning of pragyana is mind, and its true meaning is the heart. The supreme is nothing but the heart. The notion that the seer is different from the seen is only in the mind. For those who abide in the heart, the seer and the seen are one. The thought process arrested by swooning, sleep, excessive joy or sorrow, fear, and so on, goes back to its source, the heart. The ignorant one does not know that at such times thought has entered the heart, but one in samadhi knows it. Hence arises the difference in names. This is the 5th chapter entitled The Science of the Heart. In Sri Ramana Gita, the science of Brahman and the scripture of yoga, composed by Ramana's disciple Vasisht Ganapati. In the heart, Arunachala, we see Shiva, we see Shankara. In the heart, Arunachala, we see Shiva, we see Ramana. In the heart, Arunachala, we see Shiva, we see Shankara. In the heart, Arunachala, we see Shiva, we see Ramana. In the heart.
A reading from Gems, Chapter 9, The Heart. In the center of the cavity of the heart, the soul Brahman shines by itself as the self. In the feeling of I. Reach the heart by diving within yourself, either with control of breath or with thought concentrated on the quest of the self. You will thus get fixed in the self. The self is the heart. The heart is self-luminous. Light arises from the heart and reaches the brain, which is the seat of the mind. The world is seen with the mind, that is, by the reflected light of the self. It is perceived with the aid of the mind. When the mind is illumined, it is aware of the world. When it is not itself so illumined, it is not aware of the world. If the mind is turned inward, towards the source of light, objective knowledge ceases, and the self alone shines forth as the heart. The moon shines by the reflected light of the sun. When the sun is set, the moon is useful for revealing objects. When the sun has risen, no one needs the moon, although the pale disk of the moon is still visible in the sky. So it is with the mind and the heart.
Shariram surupam tathava kalatham yashascharuchitram dhanam merutulyam manaschena lagnam gururangripatme tatakim tatakim kalatram dhanam putra pautradi sarvam griham bandhava sarvametadhi षडङ्गादिवेदो मुखे शस्त्रविद्या कवित्वादिगद्यं सुपद्यं करोति मनश्चेन लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे तत किं तत किं तत किं तत किं विदेशेषु मन्य स्वदेशेषु धन्य सदाचरवृत्तेषु मतो न जान्य मनश्चेन लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं क्षमामण्डले भूपलवृन्दै सदा सेवितं यस्य पादारविन्दं मनश्चेन लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं यशो मे गतं दीक्षु दानप्रताप जगद्वस्तु सर्वं करे यत्प्रसादात् मनश्चेन लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं न भोगे न योगे न वाचिराजो न कान्तामुखेनैव वित्तेषु चेतं मनश्चेन लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं तदा किम् अरण्येन वा स्वस्य गेहेन कार्ये न देहे मनोवर्तते मे त्वनर्ये मनश्चेन लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे तदा किं तदा किं तदा किं तदा किम् गुरोरष्टकं यः पठेत् पुण्यदेहि यतिर्भूपतिर्ब्रह्मचारी च गेहे लभेत् वाञ्छितार्थं पदं ब्रह्म संयं गुरोरुक्तवाक्ये मनो यस्य लग्नं गुरोरुक्तवाक्ये मनो यस्य लग्नं गुरोरुक्तवाक्ये मनो यस्य लग्नम्।
करुणासिन्धो श्रीरमणा दयासागर गुरुदेवा करुणासिन्धो श्रीरमणा दयासागर गुरुदेवा नमामि जपामि भजामि स्मरामि नमामि जपामि भजामि स्मरामि त्वमेव सर्वं हे प्रभो 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 करुणासिन्धो श्रीरमणा दयासागर गुरुदेवा करुणासिन्धो श्रीरमणा दयासागर गुरुदेवा दयासागर गुरुदेवा दयासागर गुरुदेवा सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम सबको दीजो सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम सबको दीजो सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम स्वरूप आप है सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम स्वरूप आप है सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम जीवन का मर्म है सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम जीवन का मर्म है गुरुदेव 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 सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम सबको दीजो सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम सबको दीजो
सुब्रह्मण्य स्वामीनाथ सुब्रह्मण्य स्वामीनाथ शम्भो कुमार पाहि मां शम्भो कुमार पाहि मां शरवण भव गुह षण्मुखनाथ शरवण भव गुह षण्मुखनाथ शङ्कर बाला पाहि मां शङ्कर बाला पाहि माम् अम्बोज सम्भव गर्वनिषूदन अम्बोज सम्भव गर्वनिषूदन अम्बुजलोचन पाहि माम् अम्बुजलोचन पाहि माम् आगम संस्तुत आश्रितवत्सल आगम संस्तुत आश्रितवत्सल आश्चर्यरूपा पाहि माम् आश्चर्यरूपा पाहि माम् उमानन्दन उपेन्द्र प्रिय पाहि मां सच्चिदानन्दन स्कन्दगिरीश सच्चिदानन्दन स्कन्दगिरीश सुन्दररूपा पाहि मां सुन्दररूपा पाहि मां शक्ति शिव प्रिय शान्त महेश्वर शक्ति शिव प्रिय शान्त महेश्वर शम्भुपदेश पाहि मां शम्भुपदेश पाहि मां सुब्रह्मण्य स्वामिनाथ सुब्रह्मण्य स्वामिनाथ शम्भुकुमार पाहि मां शम्भुकुमार पाहि मां शरवण भव गुह षण्मुखनादा शरवण भव गुह षण्मुखनादा शङ्कर बाला पाहि मां शङ्कर बाला पाहि माम्
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namaskar. We conclude our Aradhana offerings with a Pasuram signifying non-dual Advaitam in duality, Sri Shankaracharya's Ekasloki, where a Guru leads a disciple to Aham Brahmasmi step by step, and disciples' total surrender to Guru, as in the final sloka of Moga Mudgaram or Bhajagovindam by Sri Shankaracharya. Tal Shadayum Neelmudiyum Vonmazhuvum Chakaramu Shuravum Ponnanum Tondrumal Churum Tirandharuvi Payum Tirumalai Mel Yendaik Tirumalai Mel Yendaik Tirumalai Mel Yendaik Iranduruவும் ஒன்றாய் இசைந்து இரண்டுருவும் ஒன்றாய் இசைந்து किं ज्योतिस्तव भानुमान् अहनिमे रात्रौ प्रदीपादिकम् स्यादेवं रविदीपदर्शनविदौ किं ज्योतिराख्याहि मे चक्षुः तस्य निमीलनादिसमये किं दीहि निमीलनादिसमये धीहि धियो दर्शने किं तत्राहं धियो दर्शने तत्र अहम् अथो भवान् परमकं ज्योतिः अहं परमकं ज्योतिः अहं परमकं ज्योतिः तदस्मि प्रभो तदस्मि प्रभो गुरुचरणाम्बुज निर्भरभक्तः संसारात् अचिरात् भवमुक्तः गुरुचरणाम्बुज निर्भरभक्तः संसारात् अचिरात् भवमुक्तः क्षेत्रिय मानस नियमादेवं क्षेत्रिय मानस नियमादेवं द्रक्ष्यसि निज हृदयस्थं देवं द्रक्ष्यसि निज हृदयस्थं देवं भज गोविन्दं भज रमणं भज गोविन्दं भज रमणं ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्